Oh, says we're now being streamed live on YouTube.
There you go. See, it's the weird thing is on your screen it says that, and on mine it still shows it like buffering or whatever.
Oh,
there you go.
Mute quickly.
You got any more of those t-shirts?
Hang on, yeah. First
I'm
of
not
all,
in the club, am I?
What t-shirt?
most importantly, as we come into does mine look backwards on yours then?
Yeah, no, it looks the right way around, but it's the front-facing webcams that do it.
Oh.
Every time you say that, Pete, it looks like correct.
So if I turn round, it looks the right way around.
What does mine say?
What's yours say? Dude.
Read.
What's mine say?
Right, let's not get into it. Do you want to do your professional intro, Pete? The return of the podcast.
Not really.
Dead air, maybe.
Yeah. Welcome everybody back to. I have no idea what episode number it is by now because that was such a long time ago. Back to another episode of the Lockdown Chronicles because we're locked down again.
Who saw that coming?
The resurgence. So it's just us tonight. You don't get a black belt tonight. You get three people who can barely remember what jiu-jitsu is. So yeah, we're back. So we've had.
I don't want to cry live on YouTube.
Well, no. You wouldn't be the first.
It's quite cathartic.
Yeah, it's how you get a lot of views.
That and taking things out of a box.
Yeah, that as well. Yeah, you could do some. We can do some clickbaity title. Like, watch a grown man have a breakdown live on YouTube.
What's better than one man having a breakdown live on YouTube?
Three of us having a breakdown on YouTube. Yay! So yeah, there you go.
Who would have thought it just 7 days ago? This was not on the cards, was it?
I'm sure I remember in the last one we did that we were going, yeah, November, we'll be able to train again. We'll be able to do something again. What happened?
I think we would have ticked off some of the places of the people that we spoke to.
Well,
by November was on my plan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly. I was fancying Trinidad and Tobago. I desperately wanted to add that one to my list. Go and see Benji.
I'm still not ruling it out.
But I do think it's important to say, just as a timestamp, we have had some good stuff, relatively in the grand scheme of things since we've last been on YouTube, right?
Remind me what those are.
Oh, okay, that's how it's going to be this evening.
Remind me of the good stuff. I just want to make sure.
We've been allowed to be in the same room as each other. That's been quite nice.
Oh yeah.
And we went out for lunch the other day in the outside.
Yeah, so that was nice.
Yeah.
That was the day before we got told we were going back into national lockdown. Maybe it was that. Maybe that's what pushed them over the edge.
Yeah. Hang on, I'm just sharing this. Whee.
You sure? Oh, that.
Oh, that.
Yeah, so we can actually get some people watching us.
Yeah, we've forgotten all the protocols.
You know what it was? It's because we haven't got the fourth person. That's all work.
Yeah, true. So it looks like we're not alone. So Haldor's been, they haven't been locked down, have they? But they've just been.
No, it seems marginally better than where we are right now. I think from what he said, sort of social distancing is in place. He'll, after he's finished watching The Mandalorian, he might watch back and then moan at us for getting this completely wrong. But he said that they're only allowed to meet up outdoors at the moment, and I think it's in something like groups of up to 10. So it's kind of where we were August, July, maybe. But the Icelandic government or whoever it is, whatever public body is that specifies these things, says it's kind of 2 weeks and then, it should be off again. And, they've been quite true to their word when they've said these things.
That must be weird.
Yeah, no, it's strange when you have some sort of, trust in the government. let's not get into the topic of statistics and modelling, but
No, we won't go there.
Shan't.
We
No.
won't go there. So,
When was the last time you strangled someone?
Does a 6-year-old count? Pete, you're going to don't fall on you, by the way, I think.
Yeah, someone behind you is about to land on your head.
my haunted podcast studio, otherwise known as my spare room, that I've enjoyed not spending a lot of time in over the last few weeks.
That's lovely.
And I'm back. This time it's the other way around, and I haven't turned it into a studio, and now I can sit on a sofa and do this rather than sit staring at it.
So yeah, last time I choked someone, if a 6-year-old count, or almost 6-year-old counts, then probably a couple of days ago.
Was it your 6-year-old or was it somebody else's?
Some random that was walking past the house. Like, you come here.
Does it? There's a Bob. Does Bob count? Bob the grappling dummy.
I think so. I baseball batted him quite a few times on Wednesday in our last in-person class for the foreseeable.
Yeah.
A shout out to Alex Ueda for his nice neon belly to baseball bat choke series.
It's tricky with a dummy that doesn't do the defences right, though, isn't it?
They come here.
Yeah. I hope it's only a month.
It should be time limited this time. Should be.
It'd be nice not to lose the momentum, because a lot of people getting the dummies and starting to train again. And
these were the positive things I was mentioning a minute ago.
Okay, right, yeah, cool.
This stuff.
Yeah, then I was thinking about, I depressed myself, because then I was thinking about, obviously about 2 days before they locked us down, I was at a concert.
Oh, the first time round.
Yeah, first time round. I was at a concert, and then I was like, all these things that we used to do, we just go, oh yeah, we'll go to dinner, and there was, everyone was there, and you didn't have to wear masks, and
you didn't have the assumption that everyone you bumped into was infected.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And things like, I was like, oh yeah, I'm not a massive Christmas fan, as most people that have ever mentioned it in front of me probably know.
My Christmas tree went up this week. Yeah.
I know. You can have Christmas for me, because I don't care. But I was like, oh yeah, we got the Christmas, you got the Christmas dues for the club and just going out for meat.
Hey, give that some context, please.
Going out to the Brazilian steakhouse.
Oh, okay, good. You mean salty meat?
Yeah. Sorry to the vegans that we've offended already. So, yeah, we can't even do that.
We'll just have to do a massive Zoom session.
Yeah. I never thought I'd miss people.
Get everybody to cook their own. We could get Jamie to cook up a whole, ton of briskets and short ribs or something, and dispatch them around to anybody that wants to join in across Essex. He's got his new big green egg. I saw that today.
Yeah, looking good.
Yeah, I did see that actually.
Churning out pizzas as well. I think it's been good in some respects. It's given lots of people opportunities to explore different things.
Not doing jiu-jitsu mainly.
Missing jiu-jitsu. I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry. Dave Morris, right? It's made me think. Dave Morris asked a question. Throughout the year, what has been your main focus to stay on course and keep your enthusiasm? For jiu-jitsu.
Stubbornness.
I think that's fair.
That's all I've got.
It.
Yeah, we can expand on that, but that's pretty much it. But we've said this in when we were in class the last couple of weeks. It's like people said, "Oh, he's only a couple of things tonight. Would you rather we didn't come in?" It's like, no, Pete and me will sit here anyway. If there's no one in the room, we'll still sit there.
Yeah. So for me,
I've done that for the last 20 years of training or whatever. Every time I train, if it's whatever day or whatever time, that's my training time.
You just kept the routine.
Oh, I'm slightly afflicted in that regard, but it served me well, really, for quite some time.
Yeah. So for me though, because we've been still teaching the kids, the thought of like not doing jiu-jitsu again or anything like that has never ever once crossed my mind, because I can see how good the kids are getting, and I keep trying to work out how much longer I've got until they're
You might be in negative figures now, Bill.
Yeah, better than me, and they've grown so much in that year, and just so much more robust, and then when he was looking at some of the other young people in the class, like Aiden the other day, who he's grown so much as well in that time, and it really is only 4 years, so there's no chance I'm going to stop, because I've got to still be Papa Bear and be able to put it on them when they get out of hand.
Such is the beauty of Gracie's jiu-jitsu.
The other really, really, really big thing for me is I had a couple of pieces of art commissioned by a little artist that I love, and his name Gary Floyd. I'm going to go and get a picture though. But I had this picture made, right, and it's supposed to be like a teddy bear of me and a teddy bear of Joe, and my one, I was thinking forward, I got him in a Pedro Sauer gi, and he's wearing a black belt. So every time I walk past that in the morning, I keep thinking, I can't stop. There is no chance in the world that I'm ever going to stop until that picture becomes legitimate.
Is it like a print or an oil painting, or what's the?
I'll stay there.
I'm just thinking, is there any way you could adjust it and put something over the top of it? If it's some sort of 3D thing, you could probably.
Yeah, can you just
bring a purple bat? Yeah, bring a purple bat.
Oh, there you go.
Colour it in, I suppose. No, I've got to keep going.
A bit of masking tape.
I like it.
Got to keep going. I'll be back.
Oh, it's got that bad.
Yeah, he's off. That's it. Let's bill out the podcast. I think in answer to Dave's question, from my point of view, I'll be honest, 100% honest, that the motivation hasn't always been there, not necessarily for jiu-jitsu. I don't know how to put it into words. Like, I think I've had massive lows in motivation. So I think staying kind of hungry for it, whatever, actually has been pretty difficult.
Yeah.
I think, yes, I show up, I'll show up every week in the same way, even if no one else does. But yeah, I've got, I don't know what the right word is. Yeah, it's kind of just sucked, really. And there's been times where I haven't really had the motivation, or not the motivation, but I've thought, is this ever going anywhere? Are we ever getting back to doing this? At all? And that's kind of when it's got me down a bit, is when I've thought, we're just never going to get to do this again.
Yeah.
We're never going to be allowed to do it.
We will. I think for so long before they just completely, lose it with rules that are nonsensical, and people just. You know what?
I thought that would have happened by now already with the level of stupidity, But people seem to want more, rightly or wrongly. I'm not going to sit here and disparage people, but people seem to be lapping it up. Anyway, by the by, let's not. Again, I'm trying to say that.
We won't dive down that hole. We'll keep it jiu-jitsu based. But
yeah. But I think the good thing is we've said this before between Pete and I, is we do cycle between us. I don't mean like I visit him on a bike. That's a little bit strange. But we cycle who's on a high and who's on a low. And
yeah. Fortunately,
9 times out of 10, or maybe 95 times out of 100 plus, whatever, we're out of phase.
Yeah.
So luckily there is, there has always been that kind of conjugate pair of the two of us, that if one of us is on a real bummer for the week, then the other one's kind of that, generally a bit more chipper. All hell breaks loose if both of us, but that's only happened, like a handful of times.
Yeah, we've only had like a day or so overlap of that, and we are a few hours of overlap of that, and then the other one's been all right.
But that's been the case for the last X amount of years. That's not a COVID related thing.
Yeah,
I thought that's the beauty of our working relationship.
Like
not our working relationship, the beautiful way that our relationship works.
Yin and yang.
Which one?
One's up.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've just been distracted. To be honest, like jiu-jitsu is the thing in the background that wouldn't ever change, and I wouldn't ever stop doing for any reason whatsoever. But there's been times where I've switched gears into something else to not get too tied up in the fact that you can't do it, or you shouldn't be doing it, according to them, whoever they are.
Would you like to tell people what you've been up to, Pete? Anything that's
Nothing.
on
nothing
TV?
no, just shift gears. I'm lucky, unlike a lot of people that have got one job and you do your job and that's what you've got to do all day, 24/7. I'll just shift gears into something else, like the personal training or the education side of things, and I'll do something positive in that then means that I don't think about the negative in something else, and it just cycles round and round and round. So if jiu-jitsu is not having a great time because, I don't know, there's a new regulation that we can't do, or lockdown like this or something like that, then I'll just switch to doing some stuff for the education stuff, or I'll try and I'll throw myself even harder into the PT, and if then I just cycle around them like that.
What happens when they shut everything down, Pete?
Just go off grid in his camper van, which is
then I'll just start building the camper van again. There you go.
That's it. It just go out paddleboarding.
Yeah, I'll just go out paddleboarding instead. So yeah, I can switch around. I don't think that answers Dave's question, but
I think the technical term is pivoting.
Yeah, there you go.
Pivot in business and life.
Yeah.
Well, as Nipsey Hussle said, hustle and motivate.
So yeah, I suppose probably clear answer to Dave's question is that I haven't lost motivation for jiu-jitsu, and I'm lucky that I'm obsessed enough that I don't think that's a problem. Like, it's almost not motivation anymore.
No,
it's just life. It's just what I do.
I do feel like when I go back to the mats, I want to tie a white belt on though, just because I feel like I'll be so rusty.
Well, because no one will know who you are, and you just want to be a ringer.
Yeah. But no, genuinely, I know it will come back. But I was just the other day, I don't know what I was doing. Maybe it was because we were back on the Zoom kids class or something. And I was messing around with Aaron, and I was thinking, I know that there's a series of moves from this like side control, but I couldn't even think of what was the first indicator to get me going.
But the thing is, Bill, if you just get that tiny little adjustment that just kind of connects the indicator to the series, you know the rest of the series, no doubt.
Yeah,
I know. Just the little connections between the layers of different things that coincide. That little jump between the membranes. That's all that's gone.
Yeah, because even I had it when we were teaching the older kids class the other night, and I can't remember what move it was from side control. I could not remember it. I just thought, I'm just going to do it and something will happen and I'll remember it, and then I can talk it through afterwards, but I'm just going to have to do it and then see what happens.
Did it work?
Yeah, it was in there somewhere.
Good. There you go. It's in there.
It just had a little stutter and then it was like, oh yeah, no, there it is. But that, I mean, you think how long, right? So March, okay, I suppose you call it end of March till now, without really doing stuff, from doing 7 hours a week of jiu-jitsu at least,
and more,
down to, Zoom classes and some, and dummy classes.
Yeah, I guess I'll just have to jump. Sorry, Pete. I do have that jump in that I have had probably more actual jiu-jitsu time than you have, just for the sheer fact that because Claire's been around, that's kind of helped out, and we've been doing a bit more, but only certain things. Like anything that's like fundamentals, whether that's kind of the Master Sauer's syllabus, whether that's combatives, like that, because we've just done so much of it. But there's other bits that just haven't happened. What was it the other day? We on Wednesday, because the guys asked for something different, because we knew it was the last session. We did that Neon Belly series. We haven't done any blue to purple classes, or blue and above classes since March, and it was like, oh yeah, after you again, you don't forget the moves, you just forget they even exist almost, and then once you get, okay, yeah, that's it, number one's this, number two's this, etc.
Yeah.
Sorry to cut through your anecdote.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, no, it's exactly that.
I think that is the beauty of the fundamentals, right? I think if you practice it enough and 8 years of doing so or whatever. It's that will never leave you. And like Master Sauer said,
Isn't it, really?
in the face, or if you get punched, you know, there's going to be stuff that you need, and it is all of that basics.
What was the next question, Bill, before we have complete dead air again?
Hang on just a second.
Before I start reminiscing in my brain about jiu-jitsu.
What was your inspiration for learning martial arts?
I read that question. I had a couple of thoughts on it, but it's not really inspiration as much as like ever since almost as young as I can remember, I wanted to do it.
That was Bruce Lee then, weren't it, really?
I'm not that old, Bill.
Yeah, but his movies would have been out.
You know what, actually, I cheesy as hell, but I think I saw more Jean-Claude Van Damme films before I got into any sort of Bruce Lee films, just because they were more kind of in that kind of mid to late 80s, you know?
Bloodsport and kickboxer.
What was it? What was it called?
I have to go on IMDb.
I think, hang on. I think it was Death Warrant. Let me have a look. It's good.
Death Warrant was definitely one of his, yeah.
Yeah, I think that was the one, because that's the one with the Sandman in it.
Yeah. I don't know, for me,
I'm by the way, guys.
East London, so fighting was always something that was important around there, but there was lots of different things, like boxing or karate with Tiki Donovan and all of these things, but I don't know, I never really got an opportunity to do it. And then by the time when I was a bit older, I don't know, I started work and there just never seemed to be time. And then Martin dragged me along. He kept beating me up on the train and I couldn't stop him. So he said, I have to go to the class to understand what he was doing, and that was it for me. I always knew about jiu-jitsu. I can remember catching up with one of my brothers for the first time in a long time, and we, a few years had passed, and we got together, and it was like, what should we do? And he had a VHS of UFC 1. And I remember watching that. So when Martin started talking about jiu-jitsu, I obviously knew from there what it was all about, and at least had a grasp, or I knew it was the man in the white gi. But I think for me, I didn't ever want to do anything that was like striking. Never been the most flexible of people. And I know it would make me more flexible doing it, but
my flexibility there, Bill.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a lover as well. Give me a cuddle instead of make me punch you.
Jiu-jitsu, combine the two. Perfect. Done.
Struggle cuddles. And, it was perfect meeting, perfect marriage for me, really. That you, Pete?
This is a bit I haven't told anyone about before. So I got put into judo by, like, me and my best mate Dominic got put into judo by my mum without even me really being a kid and knowing what it was. I think I must have been like 6. I think we said before 6 or 7 when I did my first 3 years of judo, 2 years of judo when I was that age. I got put into it and then didn't really enjoy it that much, to be honest. I did 1 or 2 competitions because, again, that's just what the club did. So I just kind of turned up not really having any idea what was supposed to be happening or what I was supposed to be doing, and got beaten up, and then that was that. And then I got obsessed, not with Bruce Lee films, but with old school Japanese ninja films and samurai films. And what was the name of the film? Is it like Return of the Shogun or something like that?
I can IMDb it if you want.
Yeah, go on. It's something Shogun. The last show. No, it wasn't the last show. That wasn't it. But it must have been in the 80s, possibly.
A load of ninja films, wasn't there? It went massive in the mid 80s.
And then there was in Martial Arts Illustrated. Yeah, and then I used to get martial art. Like, me and my friend Chris used to get Martial Arts Illustrated, and you could they had all the you'd have the Martial Arts Illustrated bit and the magazine, and then you'd have all the catalogs you could order with all the martial arts stuff in, like the
shurikens.
Oh yeah, all the ninja stuff. So I was like, yeah, crazy. And I was always into the samurai stuff, and he was always into the ninja stuff. Yeah, and then nothing happened. I didn't get involved in it again until I was about 14, 15 when I started kickboxing. with the club that's still at Woodham, and then stopped that because I started playing basketball more seriously, and then Jeff was doing that class in a sporter. So I started training with Jeff for kickboxing again after how many years layoff, and then Kev was running the judo club there at the same time, so then I started doing both, and then just went on from there really. There we go.
Buffy Vampire Slayer was good for martial arts.
All right, Bill.
I'm younger than you. I'm younger than you both, so yeah. I'm trying to think of some more modern references. Power Rangers was an inspiration of mine.
You know what? Talking about Power Rangers, that's kind of made a bit of a resurgence on Netflix in my household in the last. The early series was so hard to watch. At the time, I remember it used to be on for 5 or 10 minute little slots on Big Breakfast. That was when I first came across it, the early 90s.
Those robots, that's what I would look like striking.
Yeah, but it wasn't even that. It was the fact that it was a Japanese TV program, and they just spliced in other bits, other cutscenes into it. So the fight scenes and the robot scenes were nothing to do with the bit that was set in America. The Rita Repulsa stuff is all taken from some other series. It's reused footage.
Rob, I was just joking about the Power Rangers. I actually never watched it.
Nor did I really at the time, because Power Rangers on. Oh, you got to go to school now, because I always put it on just at the time I had to leave. So I watched the Go Power Rangers bit, but then never really got into it at the time. But no, as I say, it's on Netflix now. Other streaming services are available, but it's on Netflix now, and it just seems to be being playing a lot in our house at the moment.
I think my best film was I think it was a Bruce Lee one. It was Game of Death, and I absolutely loved that one.
That's the pagoda one, right? Worked his way out of the building.
Yeah.
See, I'm the rare exception that I pretty much skipped Bruce Lee as well.
Ah,
so I went straight from samurai ninja films to what would it have been? Jet Li films, I guess.
Used to go and get the films out from the video shop, and it was even before Blockbuster had arrived over here. Yeah, that always had a good martial arts section. It was great.
Yeah, I pretty much skipped Bruce Lee, and just like you guys said about Jean-Claude Van Damme films as well.
As much, whatever, as cheesy as he is, they're always good sort of B movies.
Yeah,
maybe opinions may vary.
They were good, and especially when I was that age, I didn't really know the difference. I didn't know it was all rubbish martial arts, and
overacted.
He wasn't actually doing the martial arts that he was supposed to be training for, like in kickboxer and things like that. It was just, you don't know. I didn't know any different.
He's punching him, he's kicking him. Done.
We keep talking about films, but Dave had a question. I'm trying to find it. Something. Hold on. Yeah, left field. Do you feel current movies give an unrealistic expectation as to how effective some combat disciplines are?
So does he mean like The Matrix?
Have you seen On Back? That's perfect. That's exactly how martial arts are.
No, Never Back Down. Or that one.
I couldn't even stand to watch that film, to be fair. Never Back Down. It's too bro for me. I was like, oh.
What was the Tom Hardy? That's all
right.
MMA one.
Yeah, Warrior. That was all right. But it was just, I know I'm just paraphrasing and repeating what Joe Rogan says, but why did they make it like a one evening tournament? Or 2 evenings, whatever it was. It just made zero sense.
Yeah.
And that plot line didn't have to be there.
No.
But I like the film.
Yeah, no, that was an alright film. I think that was.
I don't think about films. I've just realised how intellectually disabled I am. Sorry, I don't engage my brain when I'm watching a film. I just watch it.
I'm saying my expectation of films is quite low. Well, not my expectation. Sorry, my tolerance is quite maybe high, probably not low. I kind of just watch it for what it is. I don't even worry about.
Yeah. Well, you don't expect much, so therefore it doesn't disappoint.
Exactly, yeah. It doesn't take much for it to be. It doesn't have to be too much of an amazing film for me to go, actually, I quite like that. That was all right.
I think for me, I don't know, you see the combination of, and I'm not an expert in martial arts at all, but when you see the combination of martial arts and guns, I just can't help but like cringe and laugh, because there's no way like John Wick and those sorts of things, you know, where you know that you'd be alive for more than 10 or 15 seconds, I'm sure.
It kind of drops into that kind of
Podcast visitor
genre. It kind of cuts between like a martial arts genre, like a strict martial arts genre, and almost like they call it heroic bloodshed. You know, like the old sort of hard boiled and things like that. You know, which basically was Die Hard was, you know, a kind of US version of like of the same kind, you know, same genre. It's somewhere it spans those two, doesn't it?
Yeah, so it's just like a video version of a comic book, isn't it, really?
Yeah, which is exactly what they went for. If you look back at the first John Wick film, even like the way that it's presented is like a live action comic book.
Well, I mean, if nothing else, I think it does a good thing of, you know, when you're sat there and watching it, it's like, oh yeah, we do that sometimes, you know.
Yeah.
And you can, you know, get down on the floor and mess around and do it with your family members. That's all
Did you shoot someone in the face from the bottom of a triangle choke? Was it from the top? Was it from the bottom? You couldn't finish the triangle choke, so you shoots him in the jaw. Yeah.
Do you think it gives an unrealistic opinion of people? Do you think it gives an? I can't talk tonight. It's really handy on a podcast.
I think I know what you're going to say, but yeah.
Do you think it gives people watching it an unrealistic expectation of what they could do themselves without having ever trained in their lives before?
That was the question. Yes.
There you go. Yes. Was that what he was kind of getting at? I didn't know whether he was trying to get at whether it was an unrealistic expectation of what you would learn from martial arts.
I guess it could be both, but it probably is both, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. Read the question again, Bill. What do you think? You're our emotional support dog.
Yeah.
Last one, completely left field. Do you feel current movies give an unrealistic expectation as to how effective some combat disciplines are? Yes, absolutely. It's Hollywood. They're over-egged but it's still good fun to watch.
You know, the thing that I think they really seem to miss in every martial arts film is how much it hurts to get hit in the face. Like, someone throws a punch and they kind of walk into it. Oh, they go, oh, you bastard.
Yeah, you never get that bloke going, oh, for God's sake.
Why?
Terrible at remembering film names, but there was a good fight scene in a film with Gina Carano, which I thought was quite.
Which is the main character?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's it called? Yeah.
But it was like semi-realistic. It went on a little bit too long, and there was probably a few too many blows, and I don't think, you know. But yeah, for me, that one stands out as being a semi-realistic, you know.
She seems to. I don't know if she gets to choreograph some of it, because if you watch a couple of her fight scenes in the Mandalorian, she is Thai boxing essentially. There's in the first season of Mandalorian, there's a fight scene of her in a bar, and she's pretty much just Thai boxing. So I don't know whether she gets some creative control over the fight scenes.
What was the name of the film, Rob?
Haywire.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
It was quite good. It was. It could have been really good. But I remember watching and going. It was worth a watch.
But you do other martial arts as well, though, Rob, don't you? With like sticks and knives. So when you watch a film like Book of Eli, what does you know?
To be fair, I saw it once. I haven't seen it for such a long time. I can't really remember what I thought of it. I quite enjoyed the film. But then, I don't know, there's always that thing where anytime you have any kind of weapon stuff in films, it's like one of those blows. You know, it's like they can't replicate that kind of severity of it.
Boring otherwise, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Dead. You dead. You dead. You know, it's kind of it's a very short film. One thing, the one that was called, what was it called? Is it The Hunted? Oh, I quite like that. Let me hang on. I've got Wikipedia open here.
Okay.
One thing. I think it's called The Hunted. Tommy Lee Jones and Benicio del Toro.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that film.
That film,
Yeah, I remember that.
that is about the most realistic one.
He's one of my favourite actors, Tommy.
Realistic in terms of the fact that they get stabbed and it seems to hurt them.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, that is one of my actually, whilst we're on, maybe some obscure films that martial arts tinted, maybe that people might want to watch.
What was that one?
Hunted, 2003, featuring Tommy Lee Jones and Benicio del Toro.
Yeah. So your lockdown top 10.
Yeah, that's one. We've done one.
What's that one that I said to you that I felt sick watching the knife fight in it at the end? And there's a lot.
Every time we get the knives out.
Yeah, true. Every time we get the knives out, I feel sick. What was it? There's a couple of them, and he's in the kitchen with he's kind of fought his way there, and the last guy, and he's fighting him in there.
Oh, Raid! You sat around my house and watched a Raid.
Yes, Raid.
Outside of lockdown, clearly the Raid and the Raid 2. Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, that's an acquired taste.
That's John Wick level violence.
John Wick level violence, but the slightly more grim non-Hollywood version. Yeah.
If you want realism is the wrong word, isn't it? But he does get hurt in that film, doesn't he?
Yeah. It's a bit like the Judge Dredd film they did. I think it was called Dredd as opposed to Judge Dredd. It's a similar idea. Basically, he's working his way up to the top story of like a high-rise apartment block to get to the main boss. It's like every old kind of martial arts sort of computer game, like the old kung fu game that was in the arcade, wasn't it? You keep working your way up. It's pretty much that same kind of storyline.
Is it a subtitled? Is that a subtitle film?
Depends if you put it on subtitle, whether you put it on dubbed.
I can't remember now.
But yeah, Raid 1 and Raid 2, both very, very good.
Ooh, I might need to watch Raid 2, or I can't remember Raid 2, but I might need to watch that one.
Raid 2 is the one you came around and watched me. That's the one with the knife fight in the kitchen.
Okay.
So completely obscure. I found it. I'm terrible at remembering film names. I watched a terrible film, but it was quite, I don't know why it makes me laugh. Weird films make me laugh. It was called The Art of Self-Defense.
We were talking about this, weren't we? Sophie brought this one up before. Was it the guy's name Jesse Eisenberg or Eisenberg?
Yeah, the one from the Social Network Facebook
Yeah. No, we were talking about this last time we were in Iceland, weren't we, Pete?
Yeah.
And we were going to watch it because it hadn't come out at that point.
Yeah, no, I watched it in
really good.
It came up on Netflix, and it's not the best. It's definitely not the best film. But there's just some bits in there, and just like the politics around like belts and emotion stuff was just hilarious. Cracked me up.
You know what, right? And I've always said this, like off topic and completely tangential, but Pete and I both have the same, similar levels of experience. Pete even more so because he did more of it than me. But working in like leisure and things like that, and you watch something like the British Empire, and it's absolutely spot on. It was spot on to every leisure centre I ever worked in. Right now, that film you're talking about, I think, is the same for martial arts. So it appeals probably to people that are in the business of martial arts more than it does to people that train. If you can kind of catch the drift, And along that same line is he knows what I'm going to say as well. Is the foot fist way.
I was just about to say you're always going on about that one, but
I've got it on my wish list on Amazon. I was actually thinking about ordering like 3 copies, so we one copy each. Because it's like last time you looked, it was like 50p, wasn't it? Do you remember at one point it was like 50p on Amazon? But anyway, it's about £3 now. That film is hilarious.
Honestly, everybody in the club that's watching, if you haven't seen it, please go and watch it. Please go and watch it because it is genius.
So, who'd win a fight out of Chuck the Truck and Bruce Lee? Truck. So, who'd win a fight out of you and Chuck the Truck? Me.
It's so good. It's just brilliant. Yeah, that's got to go on the list.
Again, it makes more sense to pick. It's hilarious, everyone. It is a funny film, and it's Danny McBride. I think it was his first actual lead role. I think, quite me wrong, but some of the things that happen in that film, I've seen them almost exactly happen the same, like in real life. The bit with the shoes, because they're just complete disregard for the guy's dojo by his girlfriend. I've seen that happen in real life, not to me, but this is hilarious.
Yeah.
And also, what's quite good is it's a parable about not raising your idol up to some, put them on some sort of pedestal, which is, a little bit more seriously what Pete and I have spoken about, quite a few times.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because he sort of idolizes Chuck the Truck, and he turns out to be a complete schmuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
so good. Every bit of that film, walking through, I was like, I've seen that happen in real life, even up to the beating up of the grandma.
Oh yeah, but that wouldn't work. What do you mean? Come here. You're going full contact.
Every bit of it. It's genius. Yeah, that's the best. That's the best martial. That's the most realistic martial arts film.
Actually, no. In terms of like actual real life realism around martial arts, that's the one.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so what have we got so far? We've had Raid, Foot Fist Way. What do you call what's that one you said, Bill?
The art of self-defense.
So we got 4. So how many did you want us to get to, Bill?
I didn't say you came up with the rules for this game. There was another one I watched.
Can you write them down, please, Bill? So we've got these afterwards for the crib notes.
We'll
do a comparison and put down the list afterwards.
I think we need definitely one more.
The Raid, was it?
Then you can have one of those clickbaity titles of 5 best martial arts films.
No, let's make it 10. Why not? We'll do a Spinal Tap and make it 11.
The art of self-defense.
If you can find that Return of the Shogun.
We can listen to this bit back.
What's that?
So why am I writing it down? We can listen to this bit back.
Yeah, but then you've got to listen to it, Bill, and you've got to listen to us talking rubbish for half an hour to get to this bit.
All right, so Foot Fist Way, the Raid 2, the art of self-defense.
Okay. Ong Bak.
Who?
ONG.
Yeah.
Oscar November Gamma.
Yeah.
Space.
Yeah.
Bravo Alpha Kilo.
Lovely. Yeah, that's 5.
That film is a little bit cheesy in the way they filmed it, because when they got a good stunt, they played it about 3 or 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of just keeps playing the same thing. But the things that guy can kind of do from an athletic point of view is amazing. And then whilst we're on, that's Tony Jaa, by the way. If you want, while you're on a Tony Jaa tip, which would take us to number 6, I think. I'll go with either called Tom Yum Goong or The Protector, depending on where you what area of the world it is, because it got retitled differently. I think the American title, or what we would call it here, is The Protector. That film, right? Actually, one thing about The Protector, have you seen it, Pete?
No.
It's really good, actually. I've got it on DVD, but lend it to you at some point.
Help me, right?
I'll go past your house next week when I'm on business duties, and I'll fling it at you like I'm playing Paperboy on an Atari in the early 80s, or early 90s probably.
You got to help me, because I'm terrible. I can't even remember the blooming actors' names. But I watched a film on Netflix. It was about a bloke that was in prison, and he was like martial arts man.
Big Stan.
No, he lost all of his teeth, and he came out and he was trying to get revenge on the bloke that put him in prison. So like a British low rent one, but it is like.
But yeah, that's from my.
No, what's that one?
No, is it? You say it's British?
It is British, yeah.
I think you told me about this when you'd seen it, actually, but I can't remember what it's called. Hold that thought, though. But before we go on, The Protector has got one of my favourite martial arts scenes out of any film. Basically, again, most of my films that I like seem to be people working their way up a tower. Maybe he's playing Kung Fu in the arcade game. But basically, it's a single shot. He runs up. It's like a exotic animal restaurant at the top of this like tall building, and it's a single shot. And this thing follows him, tracking up the stairs and across like the plateaus and up the next flight of stairs, and it kind of loops around and round. They did it in one take, and it's probably 5 minutes. And the choreography, just from that point of view, it's just stupid. you know, literally as soon as he must have been like, you know, half a flight of stairs up, they must have chucked in like an inflatable crash pad because the amount of people he threw off of it.
You said they didn't have to be good films, right?
Okay.
Because like my one's the art of self-defense, and then this one, which is just full on like, action fighting, is called Avengement.
Yeah.
And it's got that Craig Fairbrass, who used to be in EastEnders.
He was also in Cliffhanger, which sliced.
Well, that's how I found him, right? So Cliffhanger to find the actor's name to then find whatever he's doing.
Oh, is this the one you're talking about with the team?
Yeah. It's I mean, it's like just a low.
Out of interest, Bill, does it also have Tamer Hussein in it?
Who?
He's always. It just seems to be in all the sort of low rent gangster films.
What was his name?
I'll see if I can find it. One second. What's the film called?
Avengement.
Avengement. Oh, sorry. The other film you have to put on the list is The Hunted.
The main character in Avengement is Scott Adkins.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Scott Adkins.
But yeah, it's full on action anyway. If you like watching martial arts, there's a hell of a lot of fighting in that.
The guy's not in it, by the way. It's on Wikipedia. Okay, so Avengement goes on the list because that's Bill's one. Bill, you've gone also soft. Either that or I've been drinking. I don't know.
I'm just trying to bring.
There you go. You're back. Did you put The Hunted down?
The Hunted. Oh, who's that?
2003 with Tommy Lee Jones.
No, what's the more recent
Benicio del Toro.
You've got me on films now. What's the more recent one where they they're like when you go on a game hunt, but they put people into the mix, and they're actually like humans being hunted. What's that film?
Well, like Hard Target, like Jean-Claude Van Damme.
No, it's a much more recent one. But it's not martial arts, so yeah.
I think they redid Hard Target. I'm sure they redid Hard Target recently. It's like I've not seen it, but I think they remade it recently.
Yeah.
Who's it got in it, Billy?
Can't remember.
Has it got how many words? Is it how many syllables?
There's just no point having me in this conversation. I just like, there's this really good film where they do this loads of fighting, or they're being hunted, but I can't remember anything or who was in it.
Are you thinking of the Hunger Games?
I was going to say.
How many films are we up to, Bill?
Oh, I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
You got 2 more, Petey?
No.
Do they have to be recent?
No.
Someone's going to be screaming that we haven't put any Bruce Lee ones in there.
Yeah. I don't know which one I prefer, actually. Like, I obviously Enter the Dragon's massive, but I don't know if it was actually my favourite film. It was the biggest.
It's got an armbar in it.
It has got an armbar in it. Yeah, it's got an armbar out when he's outside, isn't it? But also, I think in a Game of Death, you've got a he's got a scar. He's got a head and arm choke, I think, from the top. I think.
I'm putting Game of Death on because that was my inspiration.
Yeah, you can put Game of Death.
Go on then. Game of Death.
We'll put that one in.
What about Jackie Chan film?
Jackie Chan is he's not underrated, but he's underrated as a martial artist.
Yeah.
You know, you watch some of his old stuff like Drunken Master and things like that.
Yeah.
Like just the physical condition of the guy. Yeah. He was like it was like a little training montage, like it's been used in every film like ever. But just the stuff the old Drunken Master's got him doing in terms of stuff, it's like what was he hanging upside down from his feet, like filling up, like using like little egg cups to fill some water butts up, and then he has to go back the other way and put it back.
Yeah, I can't think of any others.
No, to be fair, that's Ted. Let's put Drunken Master down for the head of it. Or your choice.
There's your lockdown martial arts revision list.
No, we didn't put anything with jiu-jitsu in it.
Caroline said, "Don't forget the absolute classic of Mortal Kombat."
Street Fighter and Kylie Minogue.
Yeah,
that was John there, weren't he? Oh, yeah, he did go downhill.
Yeah, I'd forgotten about those films.
I've got more questions, but it kind of jumps around a bit.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Forgot about that. The originals.
I remember going to see that. What year did that come out? That would have been.
I saw that in the cinema.
Was that late 80s? Like 89?
The original ones, probably.
Hang on. Let's Google it.
We can. Yeah, we don't have to guess. Caroline said that was a joke.
What, the film or?
The Mortal, well, yeah, both, yeah.
You know, I think I went to go and see a premiere of Mortal Kombat. We used to get like tickets.
I feel like it.
To go and see premieres because we used to raise loads of money. I think we went to see Mortal Kombat premiere at Leicester Square.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Definitely saw the Goofy movie at premiere.
I can't find it very easy because I've got to look through a whole Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles
Back catalogue
to find the movie. Yeah. So anyway, Bill, let's load up another question.
Jump around a bit, but I'm just going to go through because otherwise I'm going to miss one. But Chris said, "What have you enjoyed most about lockdown, if anything, and what are you most looking forward to about being back on the mats?"
Nothing and jiu-jitsu. Right. Next question.
What have I most enjoyed about lockdown? Lockdown one.
That's not a good enough answer.
Nothing and jiu-jitsu. No, go on. Pete's got something more intellectual.
I'll say lockdown one, the fact that it was sunny, and the podcast.
It's surprisingly sunny, like since Saturday.
Yeah, to be fair, it's weird, isn't it? To be fair, I think the podcast.
Oh yeah, there's that gratuitous derivative thing I was kind of expecting. There we go.
There you go.
Go and listen to our back catalogue, available now.
Yeah, go and look at it. Yeah, if you're interested in how exciting and interesting those were and being the best part of lockdown, then you can go back to the catalogue.
Most looking forward to.
And if you'd like to hit the like button and subscribe and comment, that would be fantastic. That would really help the algorithm. If you, no, I did. I genuinely did. I don't. There's no other time. Again, sounds a bit Parrot and Joe Rogan. But
the next lockdown.
Yeah. There's no other time we'd have got to sit down with that many black belts and talk to that many black belts about jiu-jitsu for that long for any other reason.
Who else do you want on?
Who else do you want on?
Depends who we can get on. I'm joking.
If we could have Hickson, Henna, Huron,
yep,
and Helson, that would be fun. Cattail. Yeah. I'm not, I'm not big expectations or anything.
A random one. I'd like Johan to come on. I really would.
You can go and ask him. You got to convince him. He was spending lots of time buying motorbikes last time he spoke to him.
Oh, I know. It'd be nice to hear from him though. I think that'd be good.
No, definitely.
And he cracks me up. He's got good humour.
One of the driest sense of humours I think I've ever come across.
I wouldn't mind going back to some of the people we've spoken to before as well.
I think that would be a good shout, just to see how things have gone for those that have reopened, for the guys that are still locked down, the ones that have bounced around like we are now, but maybe were able to get back to something for a short period. Just,
There's been such a big difference in what, like, it almost feels like America's kind of just cracking on.
Depending on where you are, right?
Depending on where you are, as long as you're not in California.
No, if you're in California, you've got money, you're fine.
Yeah. A bit like here. If you're strictly come dancing, you can do what you like.
We should even get a TV show called Strictly Come Jiu-Jitsu. Because it's not a crime, is it? It's not a crime. You're missing out. Your cameras are too high.
No, I didn't. I'm not really.
Not far enough away from the camera, really, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's it. There you go.
Okay, guys, anyone that's watching this and see the t-shirt, we ordered these a long time before this second lockdown came in. It wasn't even an idea in Chris Whitty's. It wasn't even a glint in Chris Whitty's eye at that point.
Ready? So I'm gonna be a pain. Who are you most looking forward to rolling with when you can get back on the mats?
Pete.
Anyone.
Yeah. Who are you least looking forward to rolling with when you get back on the mats?
Pete. I'll take what I can get once it's available. It's good to, we've had this conversation between us before. It's good to roll with people that are lower level than you. That's not derogatory, but people.
Ow, the cat just bit me.
Oh, look, my finger.
Everyone's wondering why I pulled that weird face.
That's just Pete's face. Yeah, it's good to roll with people that are kind of a lower level of jiu-jitsu. It's good to roll with people that are just the same level, and it's good to get absolutely tooled by people that are much, much better. So I really don't care. I think you learn a lot from each of those.
Hang on, excuse me. That's twice he's bitten me now.
I think he's got to go to the vets for a nice long sleep.
Right. I'll plug the wounds in my hand. I just miss rolling.
Sometimes I look out the window and wonder if jiu-jitsu thinks about me too.
Exactly. It's just not like I can't even. It's almost getting to the point where you can't even imagine or remember what it was like to have 30 people on the mat rolling. So and seeing what that was like.
Yeah,
so,
and in such a short space of time.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to getting my hands on Sean again. The puzzle that I can't figure out. Sean, I can't wait for that one.
You know what it is? It's because he's got no connective tissue. He's just skin and bone. Nothing's connected. I can imagine he's got one, like the old contortionist used to see to put himself into a little sort of 1.5 cube.
Yeah, I just love it because I think however many years we've been messing around, rolling, sparring, whatever. I can only ever really remember one roll where I felt I actually controlled him, and I've never done it again. And yeah, I remembered what it was after or whose seminar it was after, and I'm going to go back and revisit some of the material from that and dig that out and use that again.
Mm.
So yeah, so Sean, watch out, buddy.
He's coming for you.
Looking
It might be another 6 months.
You've got a while to prepare.
You know what? I think I'm sure
now just by like laying on him because I'm.
Sean always reminds me of those little red cellophane fish that you used to get in Christmas crackers. He just turns over on the spot. It's like he's got like a mecha neck and just kind of spins around and his body goes. Love you, Sean.
No, there's no one I'm not looking forward to rolling with, to be honest. I just want to I just want it all, yeah.
I don't mind being the hammer, I don't mind being the nail.
I know
the ability to roll.
It's going to be good fun.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, just being around everybody again.
Yeah. I was going to say that was the biggest bit, almost not even the rolling, just having everyone in class and being able to get around to talk to everyone. And it was that nice problem to have that it was really hard to get around and make sure in a week that I tried to roll with everybody.
Yeah.
Try and get round or you just can't do it in a week, but in the case of a month, try and roll with everybody at least once during that month.
Yeah.
And try and get round all those people. And I never managed it. It was always my little challenge to try and get everybody. And just not,
everybody.
Well, not get everybody. That's very presumptuous of me that I'd get everybody. But there were some people that I'd get around and I'd get around to roll with them and I'm like, I haven't rolled with this person in 2 months.
Mm.
And that's just because of the rotation and the amount of people and everything else. So it's just
you've got to stop avoiding them, Pete.
I know. Yeah, I've got to stop ducking them.
I think the technical term is swerving.
Yeah, that's it.
Chris asked another really good question. Who would you say has held the most beneficial seminar you've attended, and what was the focus of it?
Jiu-jitsu or anything?
Hey, why are you so particular?
No, it's a question. Do you want me to give you my what?
Answer it however you want.
Jiu-jitsu.
It's not a question.
Jiu-jitsu. Narrow it down.
I don't know.
No, I don't know either.
So many different ones for different reasons. So the Sean.
That's what I was going to say anyway, actually.
So controlling Sean, for me, it was the Luis Heredia seminar when he talked about hips and head, control the hips, control the head. Like really simple. I didn't do any moves on Sean like the day after attending that seminar. I just concentrated on that one thing: control the hips or control the head. If you can do both, that was when it was kind of working out. But that was amazing for me.
Mm.
But so many different seminars for so many different reasons. Every time Alan comes over, I think, because I always worry.
Professor Alan to you, Billy.
Sorry,
Professor Alan to you.
Alan Manganello. Sorry, Professor Alan. If I got that wrong, forgive me. But yeah, every time he comes over, I always feel like he gives me permission for what I think is my style of jiu-jitsu. So I always worry that I'm not kind of like,
One of the requirements from a jiu-jitsu seminar is confirmation bias. Is that where I'm headed?
Completely. So for me, I how I tend to roll. It tends to be quite relaxed, quite chilled out. I don't mind losing a position because I'm quite happy to explore my escapes, which is what I like, frustrating people by not getting got. But I always feel like whenever Alan's here, it's like, you don't have to go for the submission, control, that kind of thing. So I always feel like there must be at some point what I'm doing will come good. Fingers crossed.
There you go. There's that zone A biasing again.
One day, but yeah, I always feel like actually, every time Professor Alan comes over, I feel like maybe I am on the right path. Yeah, so many different seminars for so many different reasons.
Yeah,
I think like not only the technique and the material we get shown. It's just interesting to spend time with these people that are kind of different, shall we say? They're not, and it's not, and again, not derogatory on people that aren't like that, but they've just got something about them. It's because they've spent so long focusing on their art, and you see this kind of embodiment of all the stuff that they've done, all the stuff that they've learned and practiced, and it comes out different in everybody, doesn't it? People, they go the extra kind of stuff goes into a slightly different mold, and you come out with with a different person, and they're not the same, but there is a very similar kind of thread that runs through these people that have been doing it for like years and years and years. And a lot of it comes back to being kind of just pretty chilled, like they're kind of they've lost, there's that whole I know Dave Porter doesn't like the leave your ego at the door, it's check your ego rather than leave it at the door, but they're there and they're willing to share, that's what's quite nice. The people that have done it the longest are really, seem to be the ones that are most willing to share.
Yep.
The ones I've come across anyway. There's obviously there are exceptions for sure.
So I guess long answer short, I think every seminar you take from it something.
Yeah.
So if you was to say to me, what did you get from that seminar? What I took from, I don't know, David Porter in Iceland will be different to what you took from that.
Yeah, 100%.
One seminar, I remember Professor Alan, nearly said just Alan again. I remember Professor Alan showing us an entry for an anaconda choke, which you don't ever seem to remember. So
it exists.
But everybody seems to take different things from different.
But it's not only material, is it, Bill?
No, not at all.
Sometimes it's an approach to training. Sometimes it's approach to life. Yeah. Sometimes it's just not even an approach to life, but just you kind of pick up on their, on where their headspace is, and you go, oh, okay, that you can be, you could be a better person coming out the back end of this.
Mm-hmm.
Because you go, oh yeah, no, that's a good point. I should be more like that.
When Mike Coreyhan was over, that was a really good seminar down at Southend. When he was talking about the directions, the changing directions. I really, the equal and opposites and that sort of thing. I really like that one. So, I mean, we spoke about it with all of them as well, just the different concepts of things come through instead of the different moves. But yeah, those seminar times are invaluable. Haldor seminars are also awesome because you just get something that's always nasty. Quick and nasty. And very, very effective.
I see, like, obviously, yeah, I'm not going to separate anyone's particular seminar because they, like you say, they've all been awesome for lots of different reasons. Like Alan's for everything. That's the reason I'm doing, you know, Professor Allen, sorry, yeah. See, it's catching. Professor Allen's seminars for everything, basically, because he's been teaching us since the beginning. Like Master Sauer's ones, because they're like a box set. They're like, you go and do. So I remember like things shown in the first seminar in Iceland that we went to that then I didn't figure out until the third seminar in Iceland, because he'd told me something in the first one that I was too stupid to understand at the time. That by the time I got to the third seminar, I went, oh, I know what you meant. Because he kind of then, I don't know whether he does it on purpose or he then kind of shows you the next bit or the bit before it. And you know, you go, oh, okay, I know what I know why. One, he said you won't understand that bit yet. And then two, then he shows you the bit and you go, oh, that links to what you showed us 3 years ago. So that's kind of cool. You get the box set. And then I can remember, like, from each seminar, one little bit, and we try and tell everyone this, don't we, that one little bit from each seminar that's then gone into my jiu-jitsu, that's then become something that's stuck.
That's like Master Sauer says, isn't it? With the buffet, you don't have to take it all on at once. You know, you pick bits that work for you, whether that's a move, whether that's an approach to what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know, you take what you want from it.
Yeah. So, like with Alex's, it was the smaller box thing for the arm, like especially in armbar situation, like that. And then, like you say, with Mike's, the pressure and the hip control and the using the technical mount, like little concepts there about using your leg to help your arm, not the other way around. And then,
well, he's thinking more, you know, that same thing, but the overriding principle there was not reaching out and grabbing something, was making them bring it to you. So doing that, you kind of, however you do it, you don't actually take your limbs away from your body, do you?
Yeah. Like every seminar, you could go through all of the seminars and I go, oh, that bit I'd use and that bit I remember and that bit I remember. I'll never ever be able to tell you the whole seminar unless it's something we've specifically stuck into a class on purpose. But yeah.
I think it's quite nice. Without mentioning names, I've been to a few seminars like this where you just see the thinnest veneer, that thinnest veneer of this person could kill you in the next 5 seconds if they really wanted to. And like, they're nice people, but you're like, it's like, wow. And that in itself is kind of, you know, ego destroying, isn't it? You know?
Yeah. Yeah. And like I say, yeah, I mean, like with, for the history side of things, obviously talking to Master Sauer, but then talking to Luis and getting to spend time outside of the seminar with those people as well.
That's where some of the magic happens as well, isn't it? Like MTV Cribs, not that sort of magic. But, but no, that is, you get to spend a bit of time in someone's headspace.
Yeah. That's like you say, that's as nice as anything else. We're very lucky manufactured to be in that position that we get to do that as well.
Sophie asked the question, Team Cobra Kai or Team Miyagi-Do?
Haven't watched it yet.
I haven't watched the latest stuff.
Sorry,
I can't even say that I've watched it either.
But historically, I'd always go the slightly nicer route. Maybe that's just me.
Miyagi-Do.
Yeah, exactly.
There we go.
Much like in Double Impact, where Jean-Claude Van Damme played two different brothers, identical twins, in fact. And one was called Alex. Can't remember the other's name.
Quite a bit of
the nicer one was the.
If Miyagi-Do's still, you know, sanding wood and doing all of that sort of stuff, wax on, wax off. I'm all over that. I much prefer the old DIY route.
Well, at least nothing else. You get your fence painted.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Practical on many levels.
Yeah, multitasking.
Yeah.
Talking to Brett the other day about because Brett, when he went training over in China, didn't he? And we was joking about what it was like. Was it like any of the films? And he did say that he caught a fly with his chopsticks. He did it once. I thought it was brilliant.
Once is enough, as far as I'm concerned. That elevates into hero status.
Like 180 on the dartboard. I'm still going for it. One day I'll get one. Never give up.
Oh, look, Yawn's online. Yeah.
So somebody said, with the current situation and a few more lockdowns, is this possibly the future of BJJ grading systems? I don't know if you can get that.
Oh yeah, it's a white belt with like 10 stripes, right?
Yeah, I can't get it to show, but yeah, a nice white belt.
At this point, all bets are off, Bill.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows?
I'd say don't worry about the belt though.
Yeah.
Yeah, because nothing's going to change.
But yeah, no, you all right on a serious level, yeah. But I think if you're worried about the belt, there gets a point where it just gets I don't know. Maybe it feels I don't know.
You know, this was a conversation Pete and I were having the other day. Actually, last night. We were just talking about the fact that, you know, there's this idea, and it's not so much in jiu-jitsu, maybe some as well. It's this kind of this need or the want to kind of accumulate like an encyclopedia of moves. Oh yeah, but you know, you've got this whole kind of oh, there's a, you know, so just show me this, that, and that, and they know the moves, but there's no digestion of that material and kind of assimilation of it to something you can actually do. You know, and I think if you people that sometimes they get a little bit belt hungry, they just want, oh, what do I need to know for that? Well, that's kind of, you missed the point a little bit, and you know, just get better at the stuff you know.
Watch The Art of Self-Defense. Does make me laugh, but no, you know, I don't know. I'd just rather be a white belt forever, to be honest, and just you know, for me, being a white belt and just, well, regardless of whatever belt I'm wearing, I just want to be on the mat. And as long as I'm able to, you know, do what it is that I enjoy doing and see that I'm progressing week after week, month after month, year after year, that's worth more than anything. Yeah. Because I never ever feel like I'm worthy of whatever grade or whatever it is that people tie on my waist anyway. And so I'd just rather have a white belt anyway. I'd feel more comfortable with
it. It's like that. If you stick around, it's that whole why blue belts leave, like newish blue belts leave. And it's why once you get to a certain point, you'll hear that all like over and over again. Like, I don't really care about the belt, but that doesn't really happen, does it? Until you get to 3 or 4 stripe blue belt. I don't think. I think because for most people, because I think by that point, you've done so much of it and you've been doing it for so long that you realize how much it doesn't matter. But as like the white belt's coming up to blue belt, the blue belt seems like the destination, and then past that point you suddenly go, oh, no, because you see, like we do, and you understand much better how good all the black belts that you train under are, and so therefore you go, oh, I'm nowhere near that, I'm miles off, so therefore I don't really want, you know, don't make me progress towards that.
We've said this for years, haven't we, Pete? Like, you know, even pre jiu-jitsu days, is that it's almost like the quickening, or once, you know, you kind of hit this point and you go, oh, and you realize how you think, you know, you've learned everything, you know everything about the stuff you know, or not everything about it, but you know it, you know, to a level, and all of a sudden you go, oh crap, there's a lot more, and you become so conscious of the things you don't know.
Yeah.
And it just becomes, I think in some ways that just becomes feels insurmountable.
Yeah. And I feel like the tooling I get from our instructors is the same as the tooling I got from them when I was a white belt. So I'm like, hang on a second, I don't really feel like I've got any better here, because they're still tooling me the same way they were 9 years ago.
But the though, I guess you got to think they're probably tooling you as well, but they're having to use different things.
Yeah.
You know what it's like, you know, if you like, even for us, if we're rolling with someone that's you know, maybe not quite where we are, not to say that's particularly anywhere good, but you use a different thing on them than you do to a brand new person that comes through the door. So I guess, I'm just guessing that they're having to employ more hand, sleight hand and kind of trickery to get you now.
That would be.
Yeah. Exactly. Bill's position. It's like Tutankhamun.
It's worked.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
The only other real question on here, I think, other than funny comments, is why Gracie Jiu-Jitsu? What are the advantages over other types of Jiu-Jitsu?
Pete, I'll leave that one to
you. Political, well, just any, Jiu-Jitsu, there's fundamental similarities between, if you want to separate them, which I'm not even sure you need to, between BJJ or more sport-based Jiu-Jitsu and Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, is just the length and focus on the self-defense syllabus. There you go. And both are going to provide most normal people with a better level of self-defense than they had if they hadn't done either or anything at all. But you tend to find less, this is like massive generalization, you probably find less syllabus-based schools with some of the sports schools, although Gracie Baja have codified a lot of their stuff and have much more of a syllabus base than a lot of sport clubs. But a lot of sport clubs you'll go to and you won't see any self-defense, or if you do, it's like an intro and then that's it, and it's more about competition. And Gracie Jiu-Jitsu schools, you will pretty much always see some sort of syllabus or curriculum, and you will see the self-defense syllabus as a core to everything else. And testing wise, that doesn't really come into it. That varies between schools. Some will test, some won't, even within the Gracie Jiu-Jitsu schools. But yeah, it's mainly the self-defense component. There you go.
Well done.
Thanks. Just stayed away from any land.
Old school, and I don't even know if any of us know enough about it, but like the old school, like Japanese Jiu-Jitsu. About it to be able to compare. It's more to me that one, because I mean, again, to be a Robin, I don't know whether he's asking about sport versus Gracie, or that kind of Japanese Jiu-Jitsu versus Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. But for me, that Japanese stuff feels more, or it looks more like an art form rather than what feels like an effective self-defense system.
There's a lot of crossover. There's a lot of moves you'll see in the standing self-defense syllabus that are similar in the Japanese Jiu-Jitsu. You'll see a couple of them. There's a couple of things with the Japanese Jiu-Jitsu, a bit like judo, where it still feels like it requires a bit of physicality. Like it feels like you've either got to be quick or you've got to be strong almost. And they'll probably all disagree with me massively. But
the hornet's nest, and you just kicked it.
That's their opinion. And they're welcome to it. I just think I'm so much more of the opinion, rather than saying, oh, this is good, this is bad. The fact that someone's doing something is way better than someone doing nothing. And there's like, again, it's like an opinion I've aligned with Master Sauer for a long time, separately, although he kind of says it, is that there's something you can learn everywhere. Like there's something you can learn off everything. You could go to a real sport-based club and there's loads, obviously, that they're going to show you. And there's loads that's going to be the same as what we do. It's just a different focus. That's all it is. It's just a slightly different intention in terms of focusing it towards competition-based rather than focusing it towards self-defense. And I think the split of self-defense Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or Gracie Jiu-Jitsu from sport Jiu-Jitsu is an unnecessary split.
Yeah, that's true. To me, I think I don't know who said this before, but basically, it's like a lot of the moves will be the same. but it's what's going on up here that's different. Why are you doing it? What's your like strategy? You know, does it pass the test in terms of Gracie Jiu-Jitsu? You know, so you run everything kind of through that filter. Yeah, you're in a great position. You might be able to do something, but what happens if the guy hits you from there? But maybe you go, well, I'm having a roll with my buddy, and at this point, he's not going to hit me. So you can be a little bit more playful. Not everything, I guess, has got to be, you know, hit or be killed.
Yeah.
There's some sort of playful interaction there, and it's just exploring kind of body movement at that point.
It's when people talk in absolutes, isn't it?
Yeah, no, exactly. I need one of those T-shirts, the pro nuance ones.
Yeah, it's just another example of polarizing something that doesn't need to be polarized, and talking in absolutes of, oh no, you should be doing sport, or you should be doing this, or you know, this is better than this. Well, like, it's so close. How can you say one's better than the other? And I've enjoyed, not that I see it in my future particularly, well, especially not at the moment. I'd probably take that, actually. If someone said, oh, you can go and compete tomorrow, I'd probably just jump in. But
athlete status.
Yeah, exactly. I've enjoyed competing. I've gone to competitions and I've hated it. Like, I've had both emotions about it, and there's times where I've loved it and times where I've hated it, and things, and both at the same time, and can still love the self-defense side of it and see the application of the self-defense from standing to the ground to, you know, everything. And I'm sure that's true of so many of the other like affiliates and people we've spoken to, like obviously Dave Porter competing a huge amount of times. And all the schools like Bill Jones's place, he's got a big competition side as well. You know, the whole association goes out and competes quite regularly. So I don't see the separation myself, but there you go.
Yeah, as you say, it's something that doesn't need to. Why drive more division between people?
We'll get along. So I had some questions come in just randomly. They didn't put it on the group chat. They're just sending them to me because I don't want to see who's asking them. But who would win in a fight, Pete or Rob?
Hey,
chuck the truck.
Yeah, chuck the truck.
Who's head instructor, Pete or Rob?
Me.
You're
just making these ones up, Bill. These ones haven't even come in, have they?
They are.
He's dragged this head instructor thing out for.
Have you got a jiu-jitsu tattoo?
Can you spot it?
No.
There's an extra ace card in the back there.
Is there a little
counting the 5
AG and then a little hidden AG there? Look.
Look at that. See, Rob?
No.
No, or just not somewhere you can show.
Past the watershed, it's fine.
Coloured it in like a belt.
Purple.
Yeah.
Put a little tab on it.
The others are too rude for YouTube, so I'm just going to leave it there.
Who's sending these in?
I'm not telling you.
You get our channel demonetized. Oh wait, no, it's not monetized anyway. Don't worry about it.
We'd need to have some sort of influence first for that.
No, you need to have posted over 30 videos.
Oh, to be fair, the way this lockdown's going, we might hit it.
Yeah, over 30 videos once a week, every week, to hit the algorithm. So yeah.
Nah, not doing that then.
At the same time.
Too much like hard work.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'm out of questions on the chat. Have you had any on YouTube, Pete?
No, we just got we've had Yawn on, and we've got Caroline here, and Nicola is here, and Jordan has been here. So hello to those people that have actually been in and commenting.
Yeah, guys, we can pad for a few more minutes if you want to message us some more on WhatsApp or on YouTube or whatever channels you've got us on. You can send us a few more things.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm sure we can think of another topic for.
Pad it out for another minute or two.
Yeah, we can pad.
You can pad.
So, statistics.
Don't even go there.
Yeah, not today. Not today.
At what point do we give up and just start training?
I don't know what you're talking about.
What point do we give up and say, you know what? Never going to happen.
What we need to do is we need to have a complete sort of schizophrenic breakdown. Imagine that we're fighting ourselves outside of a bar and then create Project Mayhem.
Okay.
I think I might have seen a film about it.
You're allowed to talk about it, or
I don't know what you're talking about.
okay.
We could always buy a town.
Now, this is a good idea, Bill. This is good. A good 5 to 10 minutes of airtime.
This has got legs.
This has legs. Go on, Bill.
What? It wasn't me. It was Pete. Pete did the research.
I think you've done more research than the rest of us afterwards. You took this one and ran with it.
I mean, I went further than the first three possibilities. Pete found a link of towns that you can buy, and a couple of them were like haunted places in the mountains in Spain and Portugal and whatever else. But no, there are full on towns available. 1.1 million, I think, was a whole town in Alabama, and full on, loads of houses, loads of bungalows or single story houses. I don't know what we call it though. What would we call it?
Pedro Sauerville.
Yeah.
Not a village hall. Just
In that case, it needs to be a town in Portugal, doesn't it?
yeah. We need something. We need just a big house, big place.
Well, to be fair, if we've all got to live in the same household, and then we can roll. Maybe we can just get a big Airbnb or something.
Yeah.
Now, why did we think of this back in March?
I don't know.
Because we thought we'd be out of it by April.
Oh, that was it. Yeah.
Got to find some loopholes. We need people to find the loopholes. Was it sponsored? Sponsored fighters can still train.
Yeah, I think it's professional, and what makes you professional is the question.
It's my job.
Yeah, that's right. It's your job.
Getting paid, so I'll sponsor you, Rob, £1
Yeah.
a month, and you can be a sponsored athlete.
I don't even think you have to do that, Bill, and I'm still not sure if this is legit. I'm sure it's not, but let's spend a couple of seconds talking about it. If we were to have a fight event once, 2, 3, 4 times a week, maybe, and when you come in, you put a nominal amount, like £1 coin, into maybe an old beer tankard, and the last man standing takes whatever's left in the pot home with them. Does that mean you're a professional fighter?
I don't know, but you've got to stop calling Bill a beer tankard.
Well, I don't know. Did you need a gambling license for that though? That's what I'm wondering.
That's prize
It's
fighting.
not for you.
There's a complete difference.
Don't you?
Yes, prize fighting. That's all right.
Yeah. We need any regulations?
Where we're going, we don't need no roads.
But we need other loopholes.
Mm.
I'm sure we could find some.
Well, if anyone's got any, please let us know.
Well, aren't
If
you
we
allowed
call it
to?
a film studio and we say that we're dancing,
Every Saturday at about 7 p.m.
It's choreographed. It's choreographed.
fine. Just test people every now and again and pretend you're doing it all the time. Then you're fine.
Childcare. I'll come, dressed as a baby.
You've got a haircut for it.
Really is going down a weird road.
Oh dear, dear.
Mm.
I don't know.
Did any questions come in?
I've not. Let me have a look. No.
There you go.
There you go.
Done.
Okay, I guess we should ask if anyone's got any particular requests for people to come on. They can ask them for us and try and get them.
Yeah, if you've made it this far in the podcast, you deserve to have your choice of who you want to see on the next one.
Yeah.
Chuck Norris.
Chuck the truck.
Back the truck. Everyone's got to go and watch that film now before the next podcast, before next week.
It's essential reading.
That's your homework.
In all seriousness, if anyone has got any topics or they've got a particular guest they want, let us know. We probably won't be able to get them, but we can ask.
Who's going to win out of Mike Tyson and?
What good one! I don't know.
No idea.
I've got nothing.
See, they've made a belt for it as well now.
It's an exhibition
match. And if you remember the last time Mike Tyson did an exhibition match, he knocked the guy out in the first round.
Wasn't Rocky IV an exhibition match? Didn't someone die?
Was that 4? Oh yeah, Ivan Drago. Yeah, that's 4. Yeah.
Yeah. Looks scary.
Yeah. Beware exhibition matches.
Yeah. My money's on Tyson.
Yeah, I think mine is too.
Probably.
I mean, is it Rafael Cordero that's his trainer at the moment? Was it Rafael Cordero? When he clocks him in the face when he's holding pads for him.
So you just took it like a champ.
Took it like a champ. Carried on. Didn't miss the rest of the combination.
That's got to be reflexive at that point. You're out cold, but you can still hold the pads.
Yeah. Right. Let's shut it down.
Let's do that.
We've damaged the internet enough.
But please remember that jiu-jitsu is not a crime.
In a safe return.
We are promoting a safe return to combat sports. Looks like Pete's frozen, but he's just standing very still.
Yeah.
You're going to get one of those buffs with the ear holes.
Is that called a mask?
It's called a bad mask. Okay. I'll